The next macro or piece of code we need is to basically delete a sheet. Once we've imported that text file, added labels, added a date, and appended it to the orders file, we no longer need that data sitting in the import file. With the course of time, this will require more and more sheets and become very, very large unnecessarily. So I'd like to record a macro that deletes a sheet. I'll record macro and I'll simply call it delete sheet. And OK. And I simply want to record right-clicking a sheet and deleting the sheet and going delete. And I can see it here. And then I'm going to stop recording. When I look at my code, I can take out any unnecessary comments. I don't need to record selecting the sheet, so this statement here can go. Just the active window, selected sheet, delete is all I need. So if I was sitting on this sheet here and I simply ran this code here by pressing F5, it would delete the sheet, but it keeps bringing up this message that I have to keep hitting the button delete. So what I want to do is add a statement to my delete sheet subprocedure that stops any messages coming up. So no messages come up, and the messages by default will be as if I said yes or OK or delete. So what I'm after is control spacebar, application, full stop, display alerts equals false. What that does is it turns off any messages. Only in this subprocedure, so they'll turn back on as soon as the subprocedure is finished. But if you felt that you needed to turn them back on for whatever reason, the statement you would use would simply be a copy and paste and changing it to true. So let's try it now. I'm sitting on this sheet here, and if I was to run this code here, F5, it just deletes the sheet. And so I might run it several times. So I'm left with one sheet. I might name this sheet import file. And so that's an easy way to delete a sheet and a very useful function to turn off any warnings. Now what I'd like to do is assemble all my subprocedures together so that they run automatically one after each other. I don't want to have to go to import file and run that subprocedure, fill labels and run that subprocedure, add dates and run that subprocedure, append database and run that, and then delete sheet and run that. So at the very top of my Visual Basic Editor, I will add a subprocedure. So I'm just going to the very, very top, Control Home, and pressing Enter a couple of times to make a gap, and then I'm just typing subproject. You can call it whatever you want, master, what have you. But as soon as I type subproject and press Enter, it does the open and close bracket for me and the end sub for me. I'm then going to press Tab just to indent a little, and then I'm going to go Control Spacebar. Control Spacebar, we're learning, triggers the autocomplete list, and so now I want to choose a particular command. I want to type IMP. The first thing I want to run is the import file, so press Tab and Enter. Control Spacebar. Then I want to run fill labels, fill, Tab, Enter. Control Spacebar. Then I want to run add dates, add, Tab, Enter, Control Spacebar. Then I want to run append database, and then lastly I want to run delete sheet. So this master project is the one that I actually run. You run the master, which runs off and does each subprocedure in the order that they're listed. And this is how we break a large project down into smaller projects. So for example, I'll save my file import, and now I want to run and bring through November. So I'm going to click on my project and I'm just going to press F8. If I press F8, project runs, which says import file. So then it runs off to import file, and it will work through import file. So I'll double click November, and then it wants the date, 1st of the 11th, 16, and it's just done it. If I was to run it again for December, click on my project, press F5, bring through December, 1st of the 12th, and it's just done it. If we then go and check the orders file, orders, file open, orders, when I press Control down arrow, there's December And if I page up, I'll eventually see November, and then earlier we did October, and control home and close. And I'm back to my import file. That is how you handle a large project. Break the project down into smaller procedures. Create macros where necessary, but then edit the macro to build in particularly variables, input boxes, and then assemble all your procedures together in basically a master subprocedure.